POW, prisoner of war. Carmelo Anthony. Why is that up? Sup? Brought to you by Death Before Bondage. Let me see where my co-host at. Why America don't like great black fathers? Yo. BB225. What's good? Oh, try to come up again. Try to come up, BB2. Oh, all right, I see you.
You send me the link.
Yo.
You send me the link to send 40.
I'll put it in the back chat. Give me a second.
What you go put it in the what you call them Brotherhood back chat? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now.
Just leave them here because it's be on the hunt for 'em.
This doggone thing ain't working either.
What?
The camera.
I just put it in there.
Little baby
Yo,
cheese.
yo. Hopefully he'll come through.
Lock on fire.
Yeah, you see the topic though? Why America don't like great black fathers.
Okay.
But look, before we get into that though, man, I want to talk about a couple other things before we get into the real meat and potatoes. I think that I think LA culture has lost its mystique. Remember when we grew up and LA culture had that mystique, death row and people wanted to go there and all that. Here go my wife. Uh, I think people like Big U and Whack 100, they kind of making LA culture look kind of whack. You know, no pun intended. Whack 100, Big U, with all that checking in and that's what. Give me 1 second. You all right? You all right, sweetie? Can I take that stuff in the house? I'm not gonna go in. Woman. I had to get it. Yo, what's good, man? My bad. I was talking to my wife for a second. Yo, yeah, but how you feel about uh, how you feel about what I said about the LA culture, Whack 100 and Big U,
Yeah, I agree.
and New York and LA? I would say lost their mystique because of these couple of suckers.
I would say all the major cities, man.
Yeah, man, you can't play that Debo.
Reality.
You say what?
Just the whole new culture mentality is everywhere, man. But you say about them being the trendsetters, these major cities, a lot of spotlight is on them.
Yeah, man, and I also got to call them out, LA culture for taking so many rappers from us, man. They took Biggie from Rock, uh, Pop Smoke. Like, you know, look at how
Yeah,
many great rappers. Tupac. At
right.
this point, LA is a rapper's setup. You know, it ain't nothing but an ambush for rappers at this point. You know what I mean? And then you go to New York. New York caught so many violations for that whole Fat Joe and Math Hoffa bull crap. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Letting Fat Joe say the N word, and you know, we don't do that, and we don't allow certain nationalities to say the N word just because they cool and they grew up around us and all that. You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
don't play that game. I get it. New York is multicultural and multicultural, and they put all these different races into one little into a big ass cup. That's pretty much New York is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, that.
What's up? What's up to the listeners? What's up? What's up?
You want a little bit on
Yeah, what else I got in New York? Oh yeah, and during that whole who created rap, was it FBA or Hispanics? I didn't hear enough. Uh, I ain't hear enough from my New York rappers, you know, or my FBA New Yorkers. They were supposed to really get loud. Like, hold on now, we created this. You know?
It was real quiet.
And they was quiet.
Actually,
My FBA New York, they was quiet, bro. I get it in the big cities like LA and New York is multicultural.
uh-huh.
Y'all and y'all like right next, y'all grew up with the Mexicans and y'all fighting with them, y'all cool with them, all that. Yeah, but we don't play that. We don't play that in Detroit. Huh?
The phone. Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Uh,
Well,
that
we-
was that was funny what we was talking about with your wife about who more accountable, women or men.
mm. I had told Florida to come through. I don't know. He must be.
Come through 40.
You see him?
He in the back yet? No, I don't see him. Let me check the comments. Yo, yo. Let me see what's good.
Light cheer, cause y'all was in the pub having a light beer. I was in the club having a fight there. Y'all could go home, husband and wife there. My mama at work trying to buy me the right gear. 9 years old, uncle lost his life here. I grew up thinking life ain't fair. How can I get a real job trying to wipe right there? Right in front of my sight like here. Yeah, this just to get out the ghetto.
Talking to me, baby? You talking to me?
Light cheer, cause y'all was in the pub having a light beer. I was in the club having a fight there. Y'all could go home, husband and wife there. My mama at work.
But yeah, those are some good topics. Is black masculinity at a crossroad? That's what 40 said. Uh, I would say yes. Black masculinity is at a crossroads. Uh, Black man, we at a point where we gonna sink or swim. Either we gonna unify, or we just gonna watch our community burn and decay because we can't unify. He said, "Is it time to redefine man? Redefine man? No, manhood is what it always will be. Manhood is manhood. It's masculinity. That's not gonna change ever. And does black men as a whole take accountability? What do you think, big boy? Do we take accountability as a whole for everything we do, everything we messed up?"
Most definitely, this culture that we living in now. I would say is wasn't well, but me personally, I think. Well, you asked me a specific question. Do men take accountability? Uh, Not like we should. No, but I do feel like more women. It's a difference. But no, as a whole, man, we don't take accountability as well, especially with this new culture. We don't. What about you? What you think?
Do black men as a whole take accountability? Um, I would say yes as a whole. I would say that uh, we don't have no choice but to take accountability because we get reminded by society, and whenever there's a narrative on why the black community is bad, they say it's the black man's fault. So, uh, as a whole, we took accountability for that, whether we was a good black man or not. We had to. Since I was young, I've been taking accountability for being a bad black man before I was even a black. All right, just off of movies and TV shows and narratives that I saw as a kid. All right, so I would say as a whole, we do take accountability because the narrative is etched in stone that black the reason the black community is bad is because of black men. We don't take care of our kids and we go to jail. And even though I could pull out some numbers that don't back that up. All right, but that's the narrative. So I would say, as a whole, yes, we do take accountability because the stereotypes, the stigmas, and the propagandas are etched in stone in America. We don't got no choice but to take accountability. That's just my little theory on that one. My little theory on that one. Just give me 1 second.
I feel you.
How you feel about that, big boy?
I hear you. I hear you. Most definitely. I hear what you're saying. I was looking at this, got a text from Baldy. He said, okay, I guess he's about to come through.
Yeah, let's get forward in there. Let's music. Let's get in here. Let's play that since I already played it.
Like cheer, y'all was in the pub having a light beer. I was in the club having the fight there. Y'all can go home, husband and wife there. My mama at work trying to buy me the right gear. 9 years old, uncle lost his life here. I grew up thinking like St. Fear. How can I get a real job trying to wipe right there? Right in front of my sight like here. Yeah, here's your ticket out the ghetto, take flight right here. Tell me you go bye-bye here. Damn, this a different set of rules we abide by here. You need a gun. Cause my drop by here. You're having fun. Wait till all your iPods there. Downloading all our music on the iPods there. I'm Chuck D. Standing in the crosshairs here. Y'all straight. Chicks got horsehair here. You ain't gotta be in fear of your bosses there. You lose your job, your pop rich. Y'all don't care, so I don't care. You're acting like y'all don't hear. All the screams from the ghetto. All the teens ducking metal here. Yeah. So we steam like a kettle here. Trying to take our mind to a whole different level here. We real close to the devil here. Somebody call the river here. Yeah, you must really be in heaven here. Somebody tell God that we got a couple questions here. My little cuz never seen his 7 year. So used to pain, I ain't even shed a tear.
Jay Zizzle. Jay Zizzle.
Yeah.
What's Hizzle, my nizzle? You tune in to Jay Zizzle, my nizzle. What it be? What is good? Oh, they ain't made it through yet. Farter must be in the audience. That Farter, that's you in the audience? Let me look in the chat. Got 2 people in the building. Oh, shall. Two. What happened to the brother? Furious style. Need to go get whacked up. Shit so dry. Need some more moisturizer. Oh, shape up. Shall. What up, son?
What's up? What's up?
Got a couple people in the chat. I don't know. One of them may be 40 acres.
Yeah, my bad. I have some technical difficulties. Uh, talk about the lovely Savannah James. Shout out to Savannah James, man.
I like the way you put some respect on her name. All this disrespect that's been happening. All time black men show a sister some respect. Some of
Shout
these
out.
just real disrespectful on.
Your boy Kevin Gates. No, but shout out to Savannah. I don't even if Savannah. If she was to like, if I was to like hear her voice without seeing her face, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know if that was her or not because I'm not even used to hearing her voice, and and that's
Can I ask you
I think
something
that's
before you go any further?
yes sir.
Because that says a lot about a sister that don't say much and you wouldn't even notice her voice.
It says a lot, and it says a lot uh, when you in the position that Savannah James is in, because she's in a position where you know she hold down the empire when LeBron is at work. When she go out in public, she gotta hold the fort. She can't be out there making his name look stupid, out there twerking and saying man ain't shit and sending little subliminal comments like, the relationship ain't good. Nope, she hold the fort down. She play her part. True.
You trying to kick some shit off, huh?
Oh yeah, man. True black woman, man. True queen, man.
Salute,
My
salute.
my opinion. Had to give her flowers. Oh shit, let me see if this oh, I thought that was 40 for a second. But yeah, gotta give her flowers.
Salute to the Miss Savannah James. Being a woman of class, being a wife, a mother, and carrying herself with some class. Shout out to her. And not wasting time on a nigga who go around that take pride in eating booty hole. Just let me be quiet. Let me stop.
Useless.
Yeah. That's a trip, man. It's a beautiful family he's showing there, my man.
Yeah. That's a beautiful family.
Look how baby girl over there giving daddy some sugar. Boy, it's a blessing to have a little daughter, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Got 2 kings and a little princess. Okay. Hey, LeBron raising a nice, beautiful little family. Hey man, shout out. Bring that picture back. Bring that picture back, man. Let's shout that Sand. Let's give a big shout out to the Sanders family as well, man. Shout out to the Sanders family. You know, I've been having my little personal issue, but I with the brother Sanders because I was a little salty when he left HBCU and went to Jackson. I mean, left Jackson State and went to Colorado. You know, just on some personal feelings type shit. You know, but at the end of the day, I can't take away from him being a great father, impacting his young son's
Mm-hmm.
lives, and most of all, raising them to be God fearing first. You know, and as well, also, which I wish he grew him up and had the knowledge of being a Hebrew instead of being caught up in the doctrine of Christianity. But I mean, still, he taught him to love God, fear God, and have a relationship with God. So, you know, with that being said, uh, you know, he's about his family. He's raising noble young men. You know, I just want to shout him out, bro. That's another man that's a fine example of a black man that's there for his children and raising his children. Shout out to that family. And I think they're handling this uh, total disrespect they're going through with class. Shout out to them. Another example of a great father. Boy, you doing your thing.
LeVar Ball.
Yes, sir. And I'm
Oh
glad
shit,
you're
my
showing
bad.
comments because you're showing 2 black men that's raising their sons to be confident in who they are as black men and raising them to be confident. And they have to go out here and face a world where they're going to be stereotyped as being arrogant. You understand? But yet still, you white America, like the Mannings, to go about and raise their children to be confident and set standards for themselves, and they get no backlash. And their white privilege is something else, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep, definitely. Black people, we can't win. They criticize us if the father not in the home, and they criticize you if the father is in the home. Like shit, we can't we can't win.
Hey, and you know what else crazy right now? I found out today. Now,
Well,
where's white America? Where's the media? Where's the outrage and the outlash? Everybody had spotlights on this young brother and saying all of these things and wanted to say something about Dion being as a father with his children and all of these things, but yet and still this white man who's the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Hawks, son is the one who actually made the prank call.
oh yeah, I seen that.
And you know what's crazy about that? He made a prank call, but this is where I am with it with the PPOW. And maybe it's just me being raised as a black man in the United States, but I guarantee you, if somebody black would have made a prank call like that and did that, I bet some kind of charges would have been pressed or something. But white boy, white privilege at its finest. All he was required to do was uh, go on social media and apologize and give an apology letter to Shaduer Sanders. You know, no consequences whatsoever as far as him doing what he did, especially at a time in a moment like this that's so precious. So yeah, man. Welcome to America and this fine example of white privilege being exhibited before our eyes. You know?
Yeah, young man, he got this nigga wake up moment. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna get your couple of nigga wake up moments. Uh, you know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was a little irritated. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was a little irritated with how irritated other people was. Like they didn't know that the NFL is racist. They they uh they wanted to get Deion Sanders in line,
Hmm.
and they've been waiting 50 years or however 30 years to finally get Deion Sanders in line. Get that sassy nigga. That's what they used to call us. We was a little too above our britches, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and they took it out on his son through, took it out on Dion through his son, pretty much. Just getting them in line. I don't think it has that much to even do with Shador. They just needed I think they just needed a reason, you know. They just needed a reason to do some stuff. You know what I mean? 40 up here.
40 acres.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, brothers? What's going on?
What's up, 40
Good,
acres?
good.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I had I had the hardest time trying to get in, man.
Oh,
The
really?
hardest time. Yeah, the app wasn't working for me, so I had to finagle a different way. But in any case, we're no. I see where we're at. Yeah, that was messed up. What happened with his son, man? I really hated
Mm,
that. I really hated seeing that.
Did
He's
you
the
mm,
see how
first.
much class he followed it with? Shout
He
out
was
to
a, he was a first round prospect, man.
shout out to the man. What about your owner to your team, 40? Yeah, I've been waiting to talk to you about your Raiders and your owner, Tom Brady. Tom Brady,
He ain't my owner.
this guy, bro. And you heard Skip Bayless is trying to put Tom Brady out there. I don't know if that's true or not. I was shocked, especially that coming from Skip Bayless. But what is going on, man?
Well,
You,
that
have you heard that story?
Tom was his mentor though, so I don't know, man.
You don't think there's no validity to that story?
I don't I don't know. Skip at this time he's just trying to find his footing, man. So whatever he can say or do, you know, he just trying to get his followers back up.
Oh, okay. I see. Great
But
perspective.
I ain't saying that because I ain't saying that it ain't because it sounds like it could be. It sounds like it, but
It,
I don't know. It's Skip. Skip is full of baloney.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't look at it from the angle that you just brought forth in reference to him trying to get his followers and stuff back up because
He don't got his show. He don't got his show no more. So
we know his allegiance that he have to Tom Brady.
oh yeah, him and Tom. Well, I won't even say him and Tom is cool. He don't even know Tom like that, but he got a allegiance to Tom for sure.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but the Shadour stuff, man, it's crazy though.
Yeah, like I was telling Big, me and Big was talking about it a few days ago. Well, maybe yesterday or the day before, but yeah, man, I broke it down like how can him, a slave, tell master what plantation he want to work on? You know, so I was like,
Yeah, yeah, for real though, seriously, because
yeah,
when Eli was drafted to the Chargers, and Archie came in and said, "No, he gonna go to the Giants."
yep,
I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? How can that even happen? They
but it
ain't,
happened.
but ain't
But it
nobody care
happened.
about that.
It happened. But it's not even just Eli though, you know, and Archie. But yeah, you look at Johnny Football too, man. Because Johnny Football did the same thing. Johnny Football was off the chain while he was before he got drafted. He was signing unauthorized autographs, getting paid for it where he shouldn't have been doing.
Johnny Mandel,
Yeah,
yeah,
so Johnny was
it
off the
was a
chain, and he still went in first round.
yeah, it was a bust.
Yeah, and it
It was
was
a
a bust.
straight bust, straight bust. You know what I mean? Johnny Mandel,
Yep.
Manziel, whatever his name was.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah,
It don't even
Doggy is
matter.
working at Doggy working at Walmart.
Right.
It don't even matter. He's done. And nothing wrong working at Walmart, yo.
He just
The doggy
but
is done.
he's a YouTuber now from when
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's a YouTuber now. So
Career done. It was football career done.
yep. Interviewing other washed up football players. You're more washed up than me. Dog, you more washed up than me.
Yeah,
Having that
man.
back and forth.
But I ain't gonna lie, man. I was appalled with brothers because years ago I was trying to rally the troops when it came to Colin Kaepernick, and at this point, like I said, man, it always goes back to a popularity contest.
Hmm.
I feel like brothers was more mad about Shador than they was Colin Kaepernick,
They were.
and, and that's because it's a pop. I always go back to it. It's just a popularity contest, man. People like Dion. People like prime time. You know,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
and now they want to be up in the uproar and mad and oh my god, you mean NFL is racist and they can collude? Like, well, you don't say. Where has this happened before? Maybe like 5 years ago, Negroes. You know what I mean? I stopped watching football for 4 years because of the Colin Kaepernick thing. Only reason why I started watching a couple of years ago was because Detroit Lions started winning. So I'm like, you know what? We start back watching. Yeah. Jay-Z told us we done kneeling, and then he brung out Usher to the Super Bowl. I'm like, what the fuck, Jay-Z? How is this helping us, nigga? How's Usher at the Super Bowl helping police brutality? You gotta help me out on this one, Jay. You know what I mean?
Just throw out the rock at you, that's all.
Yeah, but it made a little bit more sense with Kendrick. Kendrick saved Jay-Z a little bit on that,
Yeah.
but still, because Kendrick actually had a meaningful halftime show that rung bells outside of music. You know what I mean?
Well, gentlemen, let's well, I was just going to ask a couple questions because I kind of want to tap a little bit before we end the show. For those are some good points that you brought up in the brotherhood back chat. right?
It's really shallow back there now, man. Shallow.
Yeah, it is.
I like that question. I like that question you asked me. You brought some things in perspective in asking me that question. And POW and I was discussing it as well, and he brought some perspective as well. But I like when you asked a simple question that gave me some clarity on where you was going with things. When you said, "Who showed this?" Oh, you said, "I get that," but does the weight of society rest solely on? Well, hold on. Is it okay, Furious, if I ask him that because I don't want to get off with your sit.
Go,
What you?
no, go for it.
Okay, I apologize. I just want to touch on it before we get off because 40. I don't know if you read it either, but now I see where 40 kind of coming from when he asked me the question. Um, does the weight of society rest solely on the shoulders of men, or or we share it equally? So that helped give me perspective on why you saying 40 that the accountability has to come from men, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
There
exactly what I
any
was saying.
accountability? Is there any accountability that women must take?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Women definitely got to be accountable.
Yes, I agree. Because I I I I, I kind of got an idea that you mean because you know me personally. I told both of y'all that I think that when it comes to actually taking accountability, not factoring in the new culture. My wife gave me some perspective earlier before we came live on the YouTube show. That there is an issue with men, especially specifically with this new culture that we are experiencing within our community. So I will say it is a high number of men, but I do think as far as when it comes to just taking accountability of wrongdoings, period, I do think that when it comes to women, they are more so less likely to take accountability. And the reason why I say that for that, because there's always, if you ever hear a lot of women, even in admitting their wrongs, there's always going to be a but. But this,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so,
Yep. Yeah. They. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that. One thing, and when I'm talking about women, and I know you brothers say the same thing, strictly about black women, is that today in this current society, how they're given the power to black women in our community, and that's where I feel like the black women gotta take accountability at, because they feel like they earned that shit on their own. And granted, I'm not trying to take anything away from them, because they did, they got it, but they got a
It
little
was
alley oop.
designed.
It was an alley oop for it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It was up it was up there, and they grabbed it, and they dunked it. Some of
Yeah.
them did 360, some of them went between the legs, but it was it was like what you was going to say. It was designed for them to win.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now,
It was it was
now since
designed.
they
Yep.
winning and whatnot, they looking at us and thinking like, shouldn't, why you ain't winning? I'm winning, and
Exactly.
we telling them like, but you know, this was designed for you to win. So now, since they put you in position to win, we got to use that, to our advantage.
but can I
So,
tell you what I
but
feel
but but they,
for it?
but they look at us, like, oh, you trying to take advantage? But no, we ain't trying to take advantage. They put you in position. I'm aware they put you in position. I'm trying to make you aware that they put you in the position. Now, since they put you in that position, let's use that to our advantage.
Well, for
But
Yeah,
they on. I can be, I can do this all by myself. I ain't taking care of no grown ass man.
but could I
And
tell you
then
what it feels like right now? The fact that everything that you're saying is true, but what it feels like is that they're allowed and they are getting this power from white supremacy. You know, the white man. The white power structure is giving
Democrat.
power, right?
uh,
It feels like it's a my you scratch my back, I scratch yours thing because I'm not saying it's necessarily true, but what it feels like is because they're allowing to get this power is that they are more dedicated and have more honor and respect for that white power structure than they do the black man.
yeah,
Currently, what I've been noticing, with this new culture. And that's why I think this war between the black man and the black woman is so prevalent.
yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it feels like. I won't say that that's actually the case. You see what I'm saying, POW? Furious.
I think
And
he
I
dipped
won't.
out. I think he dipped out for a moment.
Oh, okay. And I won't say that that's necessarily the case for it, but it feels that way. You feel me? So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
But
saying I don't know if what you're saying is I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's valid, but I'm sure it got validation to it. But yeah, I don't know if it's across the board, but yeah, it for sure got validation.
yeah, oh for sure, it's not across the board. I do salute the sisters that are there and still have our back. And I hope it's just an illusion. I hope it just feels that way out because at the end of the day, my hope would be no matter what that we still, no matter through all of our trauma, our dysfunctionalism and everything, that the black man and black woman gonna always be there and have each other back. You know, I just, but I do feel like at some certain points, overall, it's more dedicated to the white power structure than the black man. And it goes back to the simple concept of the willingness letter gave us. Break the big, strongest black man down, and then she's gonna get her, to protect to feel like she's protecting her children. She's gonna bow down to the white man and his system, his structure, and all of that. That's what it feels like for it. To me, those concepts from the willingness letter can't be no more prevalent than today. Then it's more prevalent today than ever from a psychological perspective.
Uh, yeah, it's like at one point when we was winning. When I say we, I'm talking about the black man. When we was winning, we put the whole community on our back. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I'm not saying we wasn't supposed to do that because that's exactly what we were supposed to do. But then it's like, okay, well now we I ain't go yeah we kind of struggling, and I hate to even say it, but yeah, we kind of struggling. And then when now it's their turn, they're winning, and they don't want to they don't want to carry the load. They like so yeah, it's just to me it's and it's hard, and it's just hard to just drive that into their head, like you're like what POW said earlier, man, or Fear said earlier, man, that this is all by design, and you just want to grab them and shake them, like this is not by design, and yeah, so yeah, so when I'm talking about when you asked about accountability with them, that's one thing I really feel where they can take some accountability is is saying is admitting that they're in that position is because it was designed, and they don't want to admit to that. They want to feel like that they got that position on their, on their own. And as I said earlier, it's not. I'm not taking it away because they put when you're in a mouse trap and they put the cheese at the end. But the cheese at the end, you still gotta get through the maze to get to that cheese. So, but so yeah, they got through the maze. You got through to the cheese and whatnot. But
Ye-
best believe it was some breadcrumbs left on the trail for to help you out.
like like and of course I give you exactly, like I always said, like they gave the black man the prison houses and they gave the black woman the corporate houses. I
Yeah,
definitely get what you're saying. But for the record, for the listeners, I'm not saying that you know, Sister Keisha or Tasha, they got that lawyer job or that corporate job. Yes, you worked your ass off. You stayed up late, you studied, you made sure you was smarter than everybody in that goddamn classroom, right? All praise to you, and we love you for that, sister. But at the same time, we just want you to know that it's a design. Because if white supremacy said they didn't want you to have those positions at that high of a rate, then you wouldn't have it. It's just a reason why you do have these accomplishments that we are proud of. That's because it's part of a design. Just like black men being in prison part of design. It's not like they made this little they made this out cold perfect plan, white supremacy plan for black people, and y'all just got through the hoops. Y'all just got through the cracks with the job thing and caught them off guard.
yeah,
Y'all just
right,
blindsided them with the whole, they didn't see that one coming.
right,
That was
exactly.
part of the design.
Yeah, yeah. Just stutter step their way through through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Could I build a little bit on what you just said, POW, as far as some frustrations I deal with just in my daily life? Because what you said was so powerful, brother. What both of you brothers said was so powerful. But what you just laid down right now is a lot of game for a hungry hound. And my thing is, where my frustration comes in is because we supposed to see this because thank God to our ancestors, our elders, like a Malcolm X, like a Khalid Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, and so many other greats, Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. John Henry Clark. So many of our elders taught us and gave us the game to show us the system is designed. But yet and still, when my frustration comes
Facts.
in, is the fact that we have to argue and fight with our own. A Negro not accepting the fact that it is a system that's designed for us to fail and for failure. And what they would do, they would rather put on blinders and sit and say, no, there's just as many bad black people as there are white people, or they're just as it's no excuses because you have a choice and all of these different things. They don't understand psychological manipulation. They don't understand if you create conditions that it's likely that more people are going to choose making bad decisions to maybe probably become a criminal or do things outside of a moral compass that they may have been, want to go against. They don't understand those concepts. I have to fight that deal with that daily. So that's where my frustration comes in, having to fight with these biscuit eating Negroes in reference to, dealing with them those things, man. It's frustrating.
Someone in the chat was asking when were we winning. I'm assuming he's referring to when I said that. And we one thing we have to do is stop measuring ourselves to white supremacy and white society because because our, their winning and our winning is on two different levels. Uh, but back in the day, especially like in Detroit, when black people were working in factories, or back when we had Black Wall Street, back when we had Rosewood. Those are towns, and that was our towns. We ran that town. We had mayors and whatnot. It was ours. So if you want to, I look at that as a W, and we was definitely winning in those sectors. So there are times where when we had our own cities, our own towns and whatnot, where we was winning. That's why Wall Street got bombed, and that's why I forget where that other place in that's under siege right now. It's they basically, it's a river there. Was it in Mississippi? I think it was in Mississippi. Now that it's a lake.
You talking
It's a
about
lake
you
there,
talking about Florida? You talking about
Florida.
Rosewood?
That thing,
You talk about Lake
Oh, Lake Lanier. No,
Lake
no, that was
Lanier,
in Georgia.
Georgia. That's right.
Yeah,
And that
that was
was
in
another
Georgia.
town that was winning. So it's a lot of towns like that. Just to name a few that was winning. Uh, we can't measure our winning to their winning, because how they
Yeah,
won is through us. The only reason they so called winning is through us. So yeah, I and that's why they don't want us to go anywhere, because they know without us they're going to be taking the L.
yep, A40.
Yeah,
well, well,
I,
well, well. Once they bring these robots in here, about 10 years, they ain't gonna need our asses no more. That's part of the plan too.
right. That it is.
Go ahead, big boy.
so also to
I
add on
need
to
I need to be one of those though.
when we ever winning, what you have to realize is what you call a win and a loss depends on the standard that you set for your community, for your culture, for your family, for the group of people that you're a part of, that you're in, right?
Right,
And if we look outside of as far as what we call a win and a loss, the fact that we may not have had finances, but we can say at one time the dynamic of family. You understand what I mean? A father and a man, whether he was out working the fields all day, he came home when he came off of those plantations, chopping that sugar cane, picking that tobacco, picking cotton, whatever he was doing. He had a family or families, because we will be honest, some of our men had multiple families, but regardless, we had a family structure where a man was represented like he was supposed to be being the head. That was winning. We had men running their homes in their communities during that time. Straight up,
for,
straight like
for
that.
sure. That's for sure winning.
Huh?
I said, yeah, you're right. That is winning, man.
Yeah,
That's that's a win.
you know. So it's based on you what you look at as a win and a loss, bro. You feel me? I would rather go back because I'm gonna tell you something. I watched a documentary and I'm gonna fall back with this. I watched a documentary where a dude grew up down south, and he said he never realized coming up down south. He was either from Mississippi or Louisiana, and he said, "Man, even though we grew up in the country and didn't have a pot to piss in or the window to throw out, he said we never knew we was poor. He said I never realized we was poor until I left the country and I moved up to Chicago. When I got up here in Chicago, that's when I realized, damn, we living in poverty down south because he said it was all a mindset, a mentality. You feel me?
Yeah. Yep.
So, man, that's what you call a win and a loss, bro. Appreciate that question, though. Great question. You know?
But yeah, I like what you said, big boy. Coming home to to the wife and whatnot, and coming home to your kids, having a food on the table, having electricity, having running water. You know what I'm saying? You know, all that. Yeah, like you said, is what you consider what a win and a loss, man. But yeah, having that, coming home with a hot plate, kids and whatnot. Yeah, that's a win, man. That's for sure. That's for sure winning.
Yeah, I was just talking to my aunt last night, and she was just telling me about, her childhood coming up with my grandfather and my uncle, his brother, and how if you go to the country where they were, maybe not in finances they were wealthy, where they would be considered wealthy because the family as a whole had hundreds of acres of land. But my grandfather had a little wood house with a tin roof, and it's really in real life, the life we live in now, it would be considered what you call a shotgun house. And it's like a 2-bedroom house. The room that my grandfather and my grandmother slept in, it was another room, and my aunt just told me last night, I didn't know, a room that he made the bathroom because at first it was an outhouse. But my grandfather made it a bathroom. It was another little room where my aunt said my uncle never used to sleep. But if you seen a little house, but my aunt was giving me stories about her childhood, how like she was telling me about how growing up, because my grandfather worked in the plant, but my uncle, he was what you call the farmers. He farmed. He grew all the vegetation, and he lived out the land, right? He had,
Sharecropper.
yeah,
He was
that's
a
what
he was a sharecropper.
we consider. And no, but my aunt say by trade he was a what you call those men that shoe horses? It was a trade they had back then where you shoe horses and stuff. I forgot what they were called. Craftsmen, something like that. I forgot what my aunt said my uncle was. But she was talking about how when they was growing up, how like our aunt, we call her AX. She was talking about how they lived out the land and all the good food, how they used to eat so good and stuff like that, bro. And so winning is what you make it, and whatever your value system is. Because you might have not seen thousands of dollars in the bank account, but it was a lot of love. They lived off the land, so they had everything they want. My uncle, he grew all his hogs. He had cows. He had everything you could want. Goats, all the vegetations. He had gardens galore, fruit trees. Man, they was good, father. You feel me? Living life.
Yeah, it was good.
So
So yeah, winning is a mindset. That's what we basically saying.
yeah,
Yeah, winning is a mindset.
shit, I'd rather live a life my uncle and grandfather never lived up there, living off the land and stuff. Me being able to meet your needs than to be living in the city making $200,000 or $300,000 a year, dealing with all kind of stress, with bill collectors and all that madness and stuff. Yeah. What's going on with the playoffs?
Well, Lakers are done. They done. Maybe not the next game, but the game after that, they're done.
I like that PO, Black Masterminds podcast. Have y'all been hearing from anybody? You hear from anybody, Farty? I talked to not this ring briefly. You ever heard from anybody? Oh, they gone.
Yeah, man. It was like with they need Ant to win, man. They need him to win because they're like Steph is getting up there, LeBron is getting up there. They need another face of the NBA. They need Ant to win. But I'm not sure Am's gonna be that face with all that controversy he got going on with his BM and whatnot. Can't What do you think, big boy? Can Ant be the face of the NBA? Or
Talking about with the drama he got going on with his baby mama and stuff.
yeah,
Well, that's most definitely gonna hinder him. Most definitely. He a little too for the NBA standards. He a little too thuggish. He almost they almost got a view. They go almost probably view him close to how they used to look at Allen Iverson. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying?
AI was the face at one point. Not, I guess, not the face because Jordan was there, still there, but still.
Nah, you don't have to be somebody that got a mentality, a posture and a demeanor like a Jordan or a Kobe or a LeBron. You know, that's real versatile as far as being diverse. Anthony too young at this point. He's not really showing much diversity for them. Not enough. He
All
would
right,
be.
if it ain't Ant, then who gonna be the next face? Is it gonna be
Uh,
Luca? You think it'd be Luca?
that's who they gonna want to be, but he don't seem like he got a people's personality. Um,
Can't be Luca. It can't be Joker.
he don't have a people's personality.
Joker don't want it either. It's definitely gonna be Anthony Edwards, man.
You don't think he too thugged out for the NBA?
Hell yeah, I think he's too thugged out for it. I don't think it's thugged out. He just not seasoned, man. He not. He need a good rep, and he need to stop talking. He need to stop open up his mouth. Like nigga, you not a YouTuber, nigga. You a goddamn superstar. Stop running your goddamn mouth and saying anything that come to your. That shit was cool for like 2 minutes. Then it started getting kind of ignorant. Like you got a lot of kids looking up at you. Like they can try to have some type of fucking. It's almost like when a foreigner come to the land. He gotta learn how to. You got nigga. You try to learn how to speak, nigga. Shit. Try to learn how to speak regular, nigga. Yeah. You got to hold yourself to some degree. You just can't be out there shooting the shit.
I can't think of nobody at this point though, y'all.
No, no, he gonna be the face of it, man. I mean, it ain't got no choice, man. His talent speak for itself. Anthony Edwards, his talent speak for itself,
What
man.
about Bronny?
He
you
just
see,
ain't. He can't. You being sarcastic right
he
now.
being sarcastic as fuck.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I shouldn't have did that to you, to that young man.
Yeah, man, Bronny got a long way to go, but man, I think Bronny gonna be good. I think his brother gonna be even better than him though. I think his brother gonna be better than him. That's probably why he wanted to come to the league so fast, because he know his brother is gonna be better than him. That could be a reason. Because his brother gonna be taller, bigger.
Yeah, his brother is. He's not gonna be as tall as a pops, but yeah, he gonna be up there.
Oh yeah, his brother gonna be about Bron 6'8". His brother gonna be about what, 6'5"?
Yeah,
six
Yeah, something like that.
six,
6'6".
maybe 6'5".
Yep.
Man,
Yeah, and we're gonna be bigger, stronger.
with
On the
God given
real,
ability.
on the
Woo!
real, right? Bronny need to. He gotta. He gonna be riding the bench his whole career. He's never gonna be a starter, and he only gonna stay in the league. You know, I know what Stephen A. Got all. I mean, LeBron got all in his feelings and whatnot, I'm not no Stephen A. fan at all. But Stephen, and I hate what I'm about to even say to defend him, but Stephen A. didn't do anything wrong, and he does so much wrong. But on
Yeah,
on that particular thing, he didn't do anything wrong. He
yeah, I didn't
reported the
agree.
news.
Yeah, I didn't agree with LeBron. I I didn't agree with the way he handled that. I think he could have just sent Steven a text.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shouldn't have confronted him like that.
Yeah, I ain't. I
Yeah.
didn't agree with that. I usually rock with LeBron.
And Stephen A. need to be confronting like that for so much,
So
so
much
many
other
things.
stuff. Yeah, so much other stuff. Yeah, I I agree. I usually agree with LeBron, and I
Yeah.
usually don't agree with Stephen A. But on that one, but then but Stephen A. He did what he's supposed to do. He fucked it up because right after that he went on a man. I would have did this if LeBron did this tour.
Yeah, exactly.
He,
I'm not Chris Rock.
yeah. That's where I was like, Steve.
I was like,
See,
Steven, come on, man.
come on, man.
You're almost 60, man.
Come on,
Stop it.
man. That boy would have
Stop it.
flicked. That boy would
Yeah.
have flicked you across the
He would
goddamn.
have picked you up and broke your back, man. Stop.
With no effort. With
Yeah.
no effort.
I what he did say, I would have got my ass kicked. He did say that. He
Yeah,
did say that part.
but but still, just the fact that you would have had the balls.
Yeah.
Stop.
He would have I would have
Stop.
fought back.
Steven.
No,
Yeah,
you
man.
wouldn't have. You would have went into the fetal position and took
Yeah,
what took took whatever LeBron wanted to give you.
exactly. You're an old man that's been a journalist most of your adult life.
Yeah.
Stop it. And I seen your boxing tape.
Right,
Stop it.
exactly. Yeah.
Stop this now.
Okay, let me say this just for conversation, sake. I could tell you, I could tell you this. I'm about 840. I'm about to make Furious feel good. From what I could see right now, just thinking, I could out of all the greats, out of most of the greats right now, I could find a match as far as on the court matching games that they game up to each player, but one. I can't find a player to match up with LeBron James. I don't see a young LeBron in the game right now. That would be a plus LeBron have. I could see a young Jordan. I could see a young Kobe. And I'm sure y'all gonna know who I say the young Jordan is. Who y'all think that is?
Kobe.
Edwards.
No,
Now who?
Tatum. I see Tatum as the young Kobe. I
Oh, you
see,
say young Kobe. Yeah, Tatum is young Kobe for sure. He tried to mimic game after him, but
and I see Edwards as a young Jordan.
yeah.
But I don't see nobody as a young LeBron at this point. I even
But
see a young AI. I see a
To,
young Tim Duncan.
to be 100%, man, it's never gonna be another LeBron James. I know you can say it's never gonna be another Jordan and never, but we had something close with Kobe, but with LeBron, yes, it's never gonna be nobody athletic
IQ,
and IQ.
IQ. But look. When they first started talking about LeBron, way back in Akron, Ohio. He played for the Catholic school. I'm like, man, this nigga ain't gonna be all that. Fuck out of here, man. All this hype. Soon as that man stepped on the goddamn court, on the basketball court, everybody that knew basketball was like, yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. I'm talking about like 5 plays in. I'm like, oh shit. Cause he played for he was on the East. I'm from Detroit. So I'm like, oh shit. And sure enough, a couple years after that, he dethroned my Pistons. He put up 55 points. He put up 55 points, scored like everything scored all the points in the fourth quarter against my Pistons and dethroned us. We was never the same after that. So listen here, man.
Oh, that game.
The man is listen, to me, he the GOAT. He got something, he got things that Jordan wish he had. And that's the Thriller in Manila. See, Jordan, he never had his Thriller in Manila. He never had his David and Goliath as far as the finals. In every finals, he was the favorite, and it was pretty much like, I'm gonna just, go through the motions, and this shit gonna be over in a minute.
But
But
he had
LeBron,
the battle to get to the finals in the
nah,
East. The East
yeah,
wasn't it wasn't no cakewalk.
his hardest competitions was Bird and the Pistons. Really, if we really just he never beat Bird.
Orlando was hard.
Yeah. Orlando beat him. Uh, Orlando sent him home one time.
Yeah, 94.
Yeah, Orlando sent him home. But but LeBron, what he got that MJ don't got is LeBron got the Thriller in Manila. He got David versus Goliath against Golden State Warriors, where he beat the greatest team on paper. I know that's something that MJ be looking like, damn, I wish I would have had that. But everybody want to give him credit. Well, 6 rings and no losses. Yes, that is some GOAT shit. But that don't mean that's etched in stone that that's what a GOAT is.
You're
I don't
right
believe
about
that.
that.
Yeah, I
I
don't
know
believe
Jordan wanted that. Jordan like, man, I wish it was a team like the Warriors back in the day.
exactly. He wanted that. You want that competition. LeBron beat a 7. He beat the greatest team on paper.
That's the Warriors.
That's something you can't take back from him. And he did it. And he did it coming back from a down 3-1. Come on,
But
man.
me and Big was just giving him his flowers. I'm not sure how Jordan even came up in the conversation.
And that's another thing. That's sad because every time since LeBron came into the league, every time you call him great, you got to say, "But Michael Jordan." And Jordan didn't have to go through that. Hell, Michael Jordan, he wasn't GOAT Michael Jordan until he really like came back from basketball. Cause he made the world miss him, and it was like, yeah, you the GOAT. You definitely the GOAT. Come back, please, man. He made us miss him. We all missed him, and we wanted him to come back.
It wasn't the same.
But
No,
hey,
no, no, it wasn't the same.
Jordan did have to go through the NPO,
He had to go through what?
being compared.
Hell no. Jordan didn't have to go through. He didn't have to go against Ghost. LeBron had to go against Ghost. He had to go against people his whole career that wasn't even playing when he was playing.
You know who Jordan had? Jordan had to go.
Will Chamberlain.
No, Dr. J.
Mm,
They always.
And the Knicks, I guess, it wasn't that GOAT. I don't know.
you right about that, as far as Dr. J,
John
but that
Stock,
lasted for about
John
2 minutes, though, Jay,
Starks,
big boy. That lasted for about 2
Patrick Ewing.
minutes.
Yeah, it did.
That lasted for about 2 minutes. They're like, yeah, MJ gonna be better than you, Dr. J. I'm sorry, brother. You just gotta deal with that.
And he had Drexler competing against. He was competing against
There's goats over there. Yeah, Reggie Miller. It was that era
Dawkins,
just had goats everywhere, man.
Dawkins, that boy who played for Atlanta. Who else? Harper from Cleveland Cavaliers. Stark. Him and Stark stayed going at it from New York. He had
Yeah,
rivalries.
yeah. He didn't have finals rivalries though.
Yeah,
Final.
that's what he was saying. David and Goliath when he got to the finals.
Yeah, he ain't had that
Cause
David and Goliath.
cause the mailman wasn't bringing it. It was good. It was good, but no, it wasn't finals. You know.
Man, Byron Russell. I looked it up. Byron Russell. He never made the first team or second team defense. So you mean to tell me Jordan got 2 rings out of Jeff Hornacek, John Stockton, and no first team, second team defense or third team defense? Byron Russell for 2 rings, and
Man,
we not gonna hold that
you love
accountable.
Utah Jazz.
Come on, man, stop
And I
playing.
ain't no Utah
Stop
Jazz
playing, man.
fan, but I'm gonna respect him though. That boss was hard.
Man, Brian went against so many first team defenders and Kawhi and Josh Howard from the fuck out of here, nigga. Nothing but
Draymond,
first team defenses. You say what?
Draymond. I said
Yeah,
Draymond
yeah,
the goat.
Draymond. Man, he went against nothing but first team defenders that could run the 4-5, jump out the gym. Get the fuck out of here. Niggas not really analyzing. You know what I mean? They just like, oh yeah, man, 6 rings and no losses.
Different kind of basketball. It wasn't no
Uh,
physical smash mouth basketball during that time. Utah, man, them niggas was running around picks, man. Them niggas wasn't playing no physical ball like
They
back
running around
then.
picks now. Back then they had to run through picks.
Man,
mm-hmm.
damn boy, you had Big Mason, Charles, man, them niggas was something serious. It was physical, bro. Yo, Detroit Pistons, dog. They the ones brought that physicality to the league during that time. Your hometown, boy, you had to be tough in the NBA.
And another elephant in the room that people don't want to talk about. They changed the rules for Michael Jordan. Yes or no? Yes or no? Did they change the rules for MJ?
Gotta give you that one. I gotta give you that.
What rules? What rules are you talking about?
Far as Jordan going to the rack and all that, they made it a little bit more softer.
They had
Took
the
the
Jordan.
physical
They
off.
had the Jordan. The players had the Jordan rule too when he came to the rack.
that was just that he
To
don't
take him
what
to take him out.
no what Joe Dumars
They
said.
had to make a rule because he was getting beat up.
I don't know about that.
The
I don't
Jordan
know.
rules. Every team had the Jordan rule every time he came to the rack.
No. Part of the Jordan rule was if he go to his left, he gonna shoot. He gonna shoot a jumper. If he go to his right, he come into the rack. Nah, you still couldn't stop it. Most teams still couldn't stop it. But the Pistons, they actually they actually had that shit down pat. You know, that's
And they're the
pretty
one
much
that
what it
started. They're the
was.
one that started the Jordan rule.
Not a hitting them and all that. Hey, that was really just part of basketball. The Pistons was just playing within the confines. They were just making it tough on them. You come to the rack. Hey, you might make the basket, but you're gonna have to get up off the ground.
One thing about the GOAT though, he kept on coming.
Yeah.
The GOAT kept coming.
He did. Hey, listen, I'll take nothing from MJ, man. But they want to analyze LeBron James to the fucking teeth and to the hair in his chinny chin chin. So I gotta let's really get the elephant out.
That's because he cries a lot, man. That's the only. That's if he didn't cry so much, I think he might have elevated over Jordan, but he cries too much.
They say he flopped too much. I could show a couple of clips of MJ acting like a sniper hit him, flopping.
Never. If MJ
He said no.
MJ on the floor, it's a reason. He don't ever want to show. He don't ever want to show that you put him down or he looking weak. Never. He gonna pop right back up if he can.
Hey, fellas, I'm off, man. I got things to do, bro. Good show.
You out?
Good show. You heard me?
Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of there. Since big boy out of here, we might as well wrap it up. Give me some food. Appreciate y'all, 40, big boy.
Yeah, you too, man. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have a good.
All right, have a good one.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Buried me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Brought to you by Death Before Bondage.
I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.